During a very short layover at the Atlanta airport coming from Montana going to Florida, my sister Paige and I almost missed our flight because the flight attendant accidentally sent her bag to baggage claim. So we sprinted across the entire airport and almost missed our flight. So as I can attest to, almost missing your flight is a very stressful time while traveling. There are a few simple steps to follow to make sure you don't get lost in the airport or miss your flight, whether the airport is small or big. I have flown many times with family members and by myself. According to Air and Space magazine, 82% of Americans will at some point fly on an airplane. So they will need to know the layout of the airports in order to make sure they make their flight to their travel destination. These simple steps start off with first getting to the airport at an efficient time and checking in, checking your bag, heading to security, and getting to your gate. The first step to know your way around an airport is to get there at an efficient time and know how to check in. You will need to get to the airport about 2 hours before your flight departs. You can choose from one of two ways to check into your flight: before you get to the airport or while you're there. To check into your flight, you can either check in on your own 24 hours before your flight departs on your smartphone, or you can get to the airport early and do it at the front desk. To check in on your smartphone, you will just need your itinerary that the airline has sent you through email. You will then go through a quick series of clicks, confirm your flight, then check in. Then your boarding pass will show up and you can either print it or screenshot it on your phone. Travel Maestro, a website written by everyday people, stated, "You'll receive an itinerary and confirmation number by email. Within 24 hours of a flight time, you can check in online and receive a boarding pass, which is required to pass through security and board the plane." With this information, it is clear that airports are much more efficient now that people can check in on their own, as well as ahead of time. To check in at the desk at the airport, you will only need to give them your ID, and they will check in and print your boarding pass for you. If you do this method of checking in, you'll need to get to the airport earlier, for this usually has some longer lines at bigger airports. You should get to the airport 2 hours before your flight departs. Like most of my family, my sister Tuesday has flown many times in her life. She said it definitely depends on how big the airport is, but at the standard sized big airport, it's a good idea to get there 2 hours before the time your flight leaves. You never know how crazy the lines are going to be. With this knowledge, you can see how crucial it is to get to the airport at a good time, as well as how easy checking in can really be. Once you have checked in, you will want to go to the bag drop line. If you're going on a short trip, you don't have to check a bag, but if you do, the bag drop line is not hard to find. It is the same line as the check-in line. Even if you have checked in ahead of time on your own and you are checking a bag, you will need to wait in the same line. At this counter, the attendant will check your bag for you. You need to know your airline's weight limits for your bag. You will find the weight limits on the airline's websites and also in the email you receive after purchasing your ticket. If you're going somewhere and won't be staying for long, you can try to only pack in a carry-on bag. This will save you money and you will not have to wait at baggage claim once you have arrived at your destination. Tuesday said, "I usually don't check a bag unless I'm going to be gone for more than 1 week. I can usually fit a week's worth of stuff in a carry-on bag. Carry-on bags can be a backpack or a small suitcase. Checking a bag may not always be necessary, but knowing what to do with it when you are checking one is important to not lose it." After you have dropped off your checked bag and have your boarding pass, you will need to head straight to security. There are many rules to follow when going through security. Finding security is always made very simple, but going through security can sometimes be a hassle. There are many signs that can lead you to security. Fortunately, there are always plenty of signs no matter where you are in the airport, so you are guaranteed to find your way to security. After finding the line for security, there are a few rules you will need to follow to get through efficiently. Once you reach the first person, you will hand them your ID and your boarding pass, and they will scan them, and then you will start to put your belongings on the conveyor in the bins. Next, you will put whatever carry-on items you have with you on the conveyor. This includes taking your shoes off and putting them in the bin and all of your electronics in one of the bins as well. You may only bring liquids that are 3 to 3.5 ounces per bottle. You need to keep all these liquids together in a baggie and then put them in one of the bins with your shoes or electronics. Also, if you have a carry-on, backpack, or small suitcase, you also put that on, but that does not have to be in a bin because it won't fit. And you can also use as many bins as you need. Once your belongings are on the conveyor, you will walk through the security scan. The workers will instruct you on what to do. Then, when you are done, you can collect all of your belongings. My Uncle Dave, who was a pilot for a major airline, says security at the bigger airports are usually a mess. The lines are pretty long, but they tend to move quicker than you might think. Security is obviously an important part of the airport process. It needs to be managed efficiently in order to keep good time. Once you've collected all of your belongings from security, you will make your way to your gate. Finding your gate may be the easiest part of the airport experience. With getting to the correct terminal and gate, it can be overwhelming, but once you are there, you can relax and explore the area with some shopping or buying snacks. Bigger airports have what are called terminals, which are stated by letters going from A all the way to H if it's a really big airport. Your gate number will be on your boarding pass. For example, 32B, you are in Terminal B, Gate 32. There are many signs everywhere telling you where your terminal is, so they're not too hard to find. Some large airports you will have to take a tram, which is like a fast subway-like train in the airport. You will then get off at the correct terminal, and they will be stating what terminal you are arriving at. After getting off at the right terminal, you will follow the signs to your gate number. Keep in mind that not all airports have terminals. You may only have to find your gate number right after security. Now that you are at your gate and know where it is, you can walk around and find some places to shop or buy some food for snacks on the plane. You should keep your belongings with you while you're exploring, unless someone you are with stays at the gate with your things. Although finding your gate at a big airport can be intimidating, there are many signs all around the airport to help you find it. In conclusion, these 4 steps to make your flight are not as difficult as you may have initially thought. Knowing where to go when you first get to the airport, how to check in, check your bag, get through security, and make it to your gate are all crucial steps to making your flight. Although it may seem overwhelming in a huge airport to know where to go, it can always be made much simpler. These steps should help ensure you never miss a flight because no matter if you're flying somewhere for a special event, vacation, or just flying home, coming close to missing a flight is always a big worry. Without all of this knowledge I have presented to you, my sister and I would have never made our flight that stressful day in Atlanta.